welcome or welcome back to my channel. Let's get into this hairstyle. I am going in with my leave-in conditioner. I used the Camille Rose Coconut Water Leave-In Detangling Hair Treatment. I only used this twice and I'm only like so mad that like I only got one because love this stuff. I have like one more use. And then I did a battle between the two Camille Rose's like butters. I have the Camille Rose Curly Moisture Butter with green tea and jojoba oil. And then I'm comparing that one with the Camille Rose Almond Joy Twisting Butter. So I did a side-to-side comparison. And on my right side, which is you guys' left, I used the Curly. And on my left side, which is you guys' right, I used the Almond Joy Twisting Butter. Now, I used the Almond Joy before, but I haven't used the Curly, and I used the Almond Joy a really long time ago. So with the Curly, it was very thick in consistency, and it was very moisturizing. I felt like it wouldn't have no hold, but I was awfully surprised that it actually did. So my moisture lasted and everything like that, so I was really excited for that. My twist was nice and plump and juicy, and it took my hair no time at all really to dry. I sat underneath the hood dryer for like 30 minutes and I slept with it overnight, and my hair was completely dry the next day, which I was happy to see. I was getting some great curl definition at the bottom because I curled my ends and everything like that. And so my hair was just, you know, coming from a bad deep conditioner, which if you guys haven't seen that video, it will be up before this one. But these products made it seem like that never happened. So I'm really excited about that. So that's the curly. Here are my twists, and now, you know, these are all the twists I did. I did them kind of small because I want definition, and I wouldn't be using a gel, but I didn't have to use that much, as you guys can see. So moving on to the Almond Joy Twisting Butter. This was way lighter in consistency, but it still had moisture. It still gave me definition and everything like that. From what I remember, like 6 years ago when I used it, I probably didn't know what I was doing because it was like too heavy for my hair. I felt like it was too, you know, thick and moisturized and stuff like that. But now I know how to use things in moderation and how much my hair needs, so I'm definitely good with it now. This stuff was like creamy, and it just gave my hair everything that I needed: shine, moisture, everything like that. I did about the same amount of twist on each side, so I wanted to look, you know, I wanted everything to look uniform, but I wanted to make sure that you can tell that I used two different products or whatever. But in the end, I love both these. You don't really need both. You could choose one over the other because they're like exactly the same. I would say if your hair is more thicker, you would go with the butter, the curly butter. But if your hair is a little bit less thicker, you can go with the lighter consistency one, which is the Almond Joy Twisting Butter. But they're both great. So I did have some streakage going on and everything like that, but everything shrunk up to the same size. And now I'm just doing the last twist, and then we'll see how my hair looks. Those last three twists, and I did my whole head, and this is what my hair is looking like. I didn't have to use a lot of the Almond Joy either. So now moving on to the front. If you guys don't follow Curly Chris, then make sure you do, but I got the front part of my hair inspiration from her, and basically it's just going to be like a slick down. I did a deep side part, and then I just moisturized my hair using the same products that I use on each side on those parts, and I moisturized it and I brushed it through, and I took some wet line and I just slicked it down. I did that on both sides, and I used my dimming brush to make sure it was flat, and then I used a bristle brush to make sure it was smooth, and I just did that on both sides. Now on the side with the curly, you can see that it's kind of like clumping up and you know, flaking a little bit, but it wasn't that bad. It did dry with a little white cast on it, but I wound up putting some oil on it, and then you couldn't see it anymore. But yeah, it didn't really mix that well with gel, but I still used it and it was still good. I did get some lifting in the middle of the week, but I just put more gel and then I was fine. And moving on to the other side, I did the same exact thing, but with the Almond Joy, and that one, it didn't flake, it didn't ball up or anything like that. So I feel like the Almond Joy goes better with wet line if that's something you plan on using it with. I wouldn't use the moisture one for I wouldn't use the curly with wet line because it was starting to ball up. So I feel like if you did twist out with everything it will do that in your hair. Unless you lose, you know, you can use glass or whatever. But yeah, did those 2 sides, and then I just tied it around the back of my head. But you should probably use a bobby pin because you don't want to get tangles and stuff like that. I didn't have no problem taking it down, but I'm just saying you probably don't want to tie it, you know, around the back of your head. So I'm just making sure that everything's flat. And then I just put my scarf on and I went to bed, and I wait for my hair to dry. Overnight I did stand underneath my hood dry, but mostly I did overnight. So here's the next day. I'm taking out my scarf, and I took my scarf off before. That's why you guys don't see the white, because I put the oil on and I put it back on. But yeah, just showing you guys what side each hair product is on again. And I'm just using my Kinky Tresses oil to take my hair down. My hair is shiny, moisturized on both sides. Like, honestly, you can't really tell a difference. Right now I'm taking down the curly side, and I tried to separate as gentle as I could without separating. The definition looked good. Like, as you guys can see, I did like a comparison between the two, and it looks exactly the same if you ask me. So I didn't really see a difference. But then I undid both sides of my head, and then I really undid both sides of my head. So I tried to, you know, separate as gently as possible, but the curly side I feel like didn't separate as well as the almond dry side. I had some frizz, but I still had definition, so I wasn't too mad at it. But you can tell that I had more frizz on one side than the other because one side was bigger than the other. But still had definition, still had moisture. I could probably separate differently next time or something. I'm not sure, but it was still a good look. So I was still happy with it. Yeah, so now I'm doing the almond dry twist and butter side, and the only problem I had with this side is that it flaked a little bit. Like, as you guys can see in the front, it did flake a little bit, but it wasn't anything crazy. So I undid all my hair, and as you guys can see, the curly side is bigger, but I just tried to pick my hair to make them as even as possible. But overall, I loved this like battle. I love the moisture. I got definition, everything. My hair looked great. I did a TikTok and it kind of went viral. I mean, 3,000 views, but I mean, it's a lot to me. So I definitely did enjoy, and I'm going to put the TikTok at the end of this video, so make sure you enjoy that. But yeah, if you guys like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.
Baby, it's the curls for me. It's the curls for me. Do you see them out there curling freely? Stiff well, stiff well.